There are moments when the soul feels surrounded, when unseen battles press against our peace, when fear whispers louder than faith, and when the path ahead seems uncertain and heavy. In these moments, we don't just need words. We need strength, protection, and a divine presence that stands like a shield before us. This is where the powerful intercession of St. George rises, not as a distant figure, but as a living symbol of courage, unwavering faith, and spiritual warfare. St. George, the invincible warrior of God, represents more than bravery. He embodies the certainty that no evil prevails against a heart anchored in faith. His image carries hope, his story carries victory, and his prayer carries protection. As we enter into this sacred moment, allow your spirit to connect deeply, because this is not just a prayer, it is a declaration of trust, a shield against darkness, and a call for divine intervention. Prepare your heart. Let every word become armor. Let every phrase become strength. And as we walk through this prayer together, may your faith rise, your fear fall, and your path be opened. I call upon St. George as my invincible warrior, recognizing his unshakable faith in God and allowing that same faith to awaken strength within me. Stand here with me in this moment, not as a distant figure of history, but as a living testimony that courage anchored in the eternal never fails. The scripture declares in the book of Isaiah, "No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against you in judgment you shall condemn." And I hold these words as a shield around my life. Let this prayer take root in your spirit as you read. Let your attention remain steady, because what is spoken here is not empty sound, but a call to transformation that demands your presence and your openness. St. George, rider of resolve and defender of truth, walk beside me through every unseen battle that surrounds my life. The sacred word reminds us in the book of Psalms, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." And I cling to this assurance as I face what I cannot fully understand. Do not let your focus drift now, because this is where strength is forged. Stay with these words. Let them echo within you. And if your heart agrees, say quietly within yourself that you are ready to stand firm and not retreat from what must be faced. As I continue, I ask that every hidden fear within me be brought into the light, where it loses its power and dissolves under truth. The letter to Timothy says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And I claim that spirit now, rejecting every whisper that tries to convince me I am weak or alone. Remain attentive, because every moment you stay connected to this prayer is a step away from confusion and a step toward clarity. And if your spirit feels this stirring, affirm within your heart that you will not abandon this path. St. George, let your example of perseverance ignite a fire within me that refuses to be extinguished. The book of Joshua proclaims, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And I hold on to that promise as I move forward. Stay anchored in these words. Do not let distraction steal what is being planted in you now, because what you are receiving here has the potential to reshape how you face every challenge ahead. In this moment, I bring before you every burden I have carried in silence, every weight that has pressed against my spirit without relief. The Gospel of Matthew declares, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And I step into that invitation with sincerity. Keep your attention here, because rest is not found in escape, but in surrender. And this prayer is guiding you into that surrender with intention and purpose. St. George, stand guard over my thoughts, that they may not be overtaken by doubt or despair. The book of Romans teaches, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And I seek that renewal now, allowing truth to reshape every pattern that has held me back. Stay with this moment, because transformation requires presence, and what you are engaging in now is not passive. It is active alignment with something greater than yourself. Let every obstacle before me be seen not as a barrier, but as an opportunity for faith to rise higher. The letter to the Corinthians says, "We are pressed on every side, yet not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair." And I embrace this resilience as my foundation. Do not step away now, because perseverance is being cultivated within you, and each word you absorb strengthens your ability to endure and overcome. Saint George, intercede in the battles I cannot see, in the conflicts that unfold beyond my awareness. The book of Ephesians reminds us, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and I acknowledge that my struggle is deeper than what appears on the surface. Stay engaged, because awareness is the beginning of victory, and what you are realizing now equips you to stand with greater wisdom. I ask that courage replace hesitation, that clarity replace confusion, and that determination replace every impulse to give up. The book of Hebrews declares, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, and I choose to walk by that faith, even when I cannot yet see the outcome. Remain here, because faith grows in moments like this, when you decide to continue despite uncertainty. Saint George, let your unwavering stance remind me that victory is not granted to those who retreat, but to those who remain steadfast. The book of James says, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life, and I hold on to that promise as motivation to keep going. Do not disconnect from this prayer, because endurance is being built within you with every line you receive. I bring my concerns, my struggles, my unanswered questions, placing them into the hands of the one who sees beyond my limited understanding. The book of Proverbs teaches, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And I release my need to control what I cannot foresee. Stay attentive, because trust is being strengthened here, and that trust will carry you through what lies ahead. Saint George, let your presence remind me that I am not abandoned in my journey, that I am supported in ways I may not always perceive. The book of Deuteronomy declares, he will never leave you nor forsake you, and I hold on to that assurance as I continue forward. Remain in this space, because reassurance grows when you allow yourself to fully receive it. Let every word spoken here become a seed planted within my spirit, growing into strength, resilience, and unwavering faith. The book of Mark says, with God all things are possible, and I refuse to limit what can be done in my life. Stay here, because possibility expands when you remain open, and this prayer is opening doors within you. Saint George, guide my steps so that I do not wander into paths that lead me away from truth. The book of Psalms declares, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path, and I seek that guidance now. Do not allow distraction to pull you away, because direction is being revealed in this very moment. I ask that every hidden blessing begin to unfold, not by chance, but by alignment with what is right and just. The book of Galatians reminds us, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And I hold on to that encouragement. Stay engaged, because perseverance leads to fulfillment, and you are being strengthened to continue. Saint George, let your courage awaken mine. Let your endurance become my example, and let your faith become a reflection within me. The book of Philippians says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I accept that strength now. Remain present, because strength grows in moments of connection like this. I stand here, fully engaged, fully aware, allowing this prayer to shape my thoughts, my actions, and my path forward. The book of Isaiah declares, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, and I embrace that renewal. Stay here, because renewal is happening within you as you continue. Saint George, remain beside me as I move forward from this moment, carrying with me everything that has been spoken and received. Let nothing be lost, let nothing be forgotten, and let every word continue to echo within me as I walk ahead. Keep your heart aligned with what you have just experienced, and if you feel this connection, affirm within yourself that you will carry this strength with you beyond this moment and into every step you take. O Saint George, steadfast warrior of faith, I come before you with a heart that refuses to give in to the weight of unseen battles, asking that you stand beside me as I walk through paths that feel uncertain and heavy. I ask for my paths to be opened, trusting that through divine protection, every obstacle ahead of me is already being removed. As it is written, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Let this truth echo within me until fear loses its voice and courage rises without hesitation. I lift my thoughts upward, knowing that no struggle escapes the sight of the one who formed me. And I ask that every hidden trap set against my future be broken before it reaches me. Just as it is spoken, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Let this promise become a shield around my life, guarding my steps and silencing every force that seeks to bring confusion or delay into my journey. Stand with me, St. George, not as a distant figure of history, but as a living symbol of endurance, reminding me that even in the presence of adversity, faith does not retreat. The word declares, "Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." And I cling to this assurance as I move forward, refusing to shrink back when challenges appear larger than my own strength. Let every closed door that does not belong to my purpose remain shut, and let every door aligned with divine will open with clarity and peace. As it is written, "I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it." I trust that what is meant for me cannot be taken away, and what is not meant for me cannot be forced into place, no matter how hard I try. In moments where doubt tries to whisper louder than truth, remind me that I am not walking alone, that there is a greater hand guiding every step I take. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. And so I surrender the need to control what I cannot see, believing that direction is already being established ahead of me. St. George, let your courage inspire my spirit so that I do not hesitate when it is time to move forward, even when the path is unfamiliar. Let me recognize that fear often disguises itself as caution, but faith calls me beyond hesitation into action. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I receive this strength as a reality, not just a distant hope. As I walk through each day, I ask that protection surrounds not only me, but everyone connected to my life, that no harm approaches unnoticed, and no negative intention finds a place to grow. He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. And I believe that unseen protection is already active, covering what I cannot perceive. Let clarity replace confusion, let peace replace anxiety, and let confidence replace hesitation. When I feel overwhelmed, remind me that, cast your burden on the Lord, and He shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved, and allow these words to settle deeply within me until they shape the way I respond to every situation. St. George, strengthen my resolve so that I do not abandon my journey midway, especially when results are not immediate. Teach me endurance, the kind that does not depend on visible progress but on unwavering belief. Let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. And I hold on to this promise when patience feels stretched beyond comfort. Remove every distraction that pulls me away from what truly matters, every influence that leads me into confusion, and every thought that weakens my focus. Replace them with discipline, clarity, and purpose. Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth, and help me align my priorities with what leads to lasting growth rather than temporary relief. As I continue this prayer, I choose to remain present, not rushing past these moments, not allowing my mind to wander into doubt or distraction, because something is being shaped within me right now. If you are still here, hold on to this moment and say within yourself, I will remain grounded in faith and I will not step away from what is strengthening me right now. St. George, let resilience rise within me so that setbacks do not define my direction. Let every delay become preparation, every challenge become refinement, and every difficulty become a testimony in progress. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to His purpose. And I trust that nothing I face is wasted. I ask that my steps become steady, that my decisions become wise, and that my actions reflect the strength I am being given. When uncertainty appears, remind me that clarity often comes through movement, not hesitation. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way. And I believe my path is not random but guided with intention. Let no fear of failure stop me from advancing, and let no past mistake define my future direction. Teach me to move forward with confidence, knowing that growth requires movement, not perfection. For though a righteous man may fall 7 times, he rises again. And I choose to rise every time, refusing to stay down in discouragement. St. George, help me recognize the battles worth fighting and the ones I must release, so I do not waste strength where peace is required. Give me discernment to know when to stand firm and when to step back. If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men, and let this wisdom guide my interactions. As this prayer continues, remain here with intention, because something is shifting within your spirit, even if you cannot fully explain it yet. Say quietly within yourself, I am walking forward, and nothing meant for me will be blocked. Let every hidden blessing begin to surface, every delayed answer begin to unfold, and every silent prayer begin to find its response. Call to me, and I will answer you, and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. And I hold on to this invitation with expectation. St. George, stand with me as I continue forward, not turning back, not giving in, not losing focus, trusting that what is ahead of me is already being prepared in ways I cannot yet see, and that every step I take is moving me closer to what has been set aside for my life. I rise in this moment with my spirit alert, my heart trembling yet determined, calling upon St. George, warrior of faith, companion in unseen battles, as I walk spiritually clothed and armed, believing that no enemy, seen or unseen, has the power to reach or harm me, and I refuse to allow doubt to sit beside me. For it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10, Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. And if you feel this strength entering your life right now, do not remain silent. Declare with conviction, I will stay until the end. I will not abandon this moment of transformation. I tighten the armor of my soul as though fastening invisible steel across my chest, knowing that weakness invites intrusion, but conviction builds a barrier no darkness can cross. And I cling to the truth spoken in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And I refuse to stand exposed. I refuse to walk uncovered. I refuse to let unseen forces dictate the course of my life. And if you are still here, do not make the mistake of leaving now, because stepping away may open doors you cannot see. Declare it boldly, I am protected and I will remain. I call upon the courage that burned within St. George when fear surrounded him like a storm, when danger pressed in from every side, yet his spirit did not bow. And I anchor myself in the promise written in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And I refuse fear its place. I deny anxiety its voice. I silence every whisper that tells me I am vulnerable. And if you feel hesitation rising within you, fight it now. Type within your heart, I choose courage over fear. There are forces that attempt to creep silently into homes, into thoughts, into destinies. But I declare that none shall cross the threshold of my life, for it is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 23, The Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And I hold on to that covering, I cling to that protection, and I refuse to let anything breach what has been guarded. And if you even consider leaving this prayer, understand what you risk inviting. So, remain firm and say, Nothing evil will enter my house. I stand as one who refuses to be passive, who refuses to be unaware, who refuses to be spiritually asleep, because vigilance is the shield that keeps destruction at bay. And I remember the warning given in the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And I will not be the one who is found unguarded. I will not be the one who is taken unaware. And if you feel distraction pulling you away, resist it now. Declare I am alert and nothing will catch me off guard. I walk forward with invisible weapons formed by faith, sharpened by belief, strengthened by persistence, and I take hold of the assurance found in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, to the pulling down of strongholds. And I begin to tear down every unseen structure built against me, every silent attack, every hidden trap. And if you feel resistance rising, that means something is breaking. Do not leave now. Say I am tearing down every barrier against my life. The presence of St. George reminds me that battles are not won by avoidance, but by standing firm when everything tells you to retreat. And I root myself in the truth from the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9. Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord, thy God, is with thee whithersoever thou goest. And I refuse retreat. I refuse surrender. I refuse defeat. And if your spirit feels shaken, speak now. I will not step back. I will stand and overcome. There are moments when the unseen presses hardest, when shadows seem closer, when fear whispers louder. But I remind myself of the declaration in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 31. If God be for us, who can be against us? And I let that truth echo through every corner of my being, pushing back everything that attempts to intimidate me. And if you feel something shifting inside you, do not ignore it. Do not walk away. Declare with strength, no force can stand against me. I refuse to let negativity plant seeds within my mind, because what grows there shapes what manifests in my life. And I cling to the wisdom in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And I guard my thoughts. I protect my inner world. I refuse contamination. And if you feel your attention drifting, pull it back now, because leaving this moment may cost you more than you realize. Say, I guard my heart and mind. I call upon the fire of persistence, the refusal to quit, the determination to remain even when comfort calls me away, because transformation requires endurance. And I remember the words from the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And I refuse to faint. I refuse to stop. I refuse to give up. And if you are still here, prove it to yourself. Declare, I will endure until my victory manifests. Every step I take is covered. Every path I walk is watched. Every move I make is shielded. And I hold on to the assurance from the book of Psalms, chapter 121, verse 7. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. And I walk, knowing preservation surrounds me. And if doubt tries to creep in, reject it immediately, because leaving now may weaken what is being built. Say, I am preserved and nothing will break me. I refuse to let fear dictate my future. I refuse to let anxiety control my steps. I refuse to let uncertainty dominate my decisions. And I stand on the promise from the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And I embrace that power. I claim that clarity. And if you feel hesitation, confront it now. Do not leave. Declare, I walk in power and clarity. The battle is not always visible, but its effects are real. And I choose to confront what cannot be seen with what cannot be shaken. And I remember the truth from the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And I hold on to that evidence. I trust what I cannot touch. And if you feel tempted to stop listening, resist it, because something is aligning for you right now. Say, I trust even what I cannot see. I declare that no plan formed in darkness will succeed against me. No intention set in secrecy will prosper. And I anchor myself in the promise from the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And I reject every attack before it reaches me. And if you feel something lifting from your spirit, stay. Do not interrupt this moment. Declare, no weapon will prosper against me. I stand firm knowing that I am not alone in this moment, that unseen forces of protection surround me, guiding me, shielding me. And I remember the assurance in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. And I walk knowing I am guarded at every step. And if you feel peace entering your heart, hold on to it. Do not leave. Declare, I am surrounded and protected. There is a shift happening even now. Something subtle yet powerful. Something quiet yet undeniable. And I refuse to interrupt it by stepping away, because this is the moment where change takes root. And I hold on to the truth from the book of James, chapter 4, verse 7. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And I resist everything that tries to pull me away. And if you feel resistance, that means it is working. Say, I resist and I remain. I continue forward, unshaken, unwavering, unyielding. knowing that persistence is the key that unlocks what has been closed, and I stand on the promise from the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. And I keep asking, I keep seeking, I keep knocking, and if you have made it this far, do not stop now. Declare, I will receive what is meant for me. I walk spiritually clothed and armed, believing that no enemy, seen or unseen, has the power to reach or harm me, and I continue pressing forward, refusing to break, refusing to quit, refusing to surrender, holding on to every word, every promise, every truth that has been spoken. And if you are still here, prove your commitment. Declare with conviction, I will stay until the end, and my life will not remain the same. I declare that those who wish me harm cannot touch me, cannot see me, and cannot even form thoughts against me that succeed. For I stand under a covering not built by human hands, but established by the eternal word that says, The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And as these words echo through my spirit, I refuse to move away from this moment, because leaving now would open doors that were meant to stay sealed. And if you are listening, hold your place here and type with conviction, I remain protected and unshaken. Saint George, rider of courage, intercede in this very second as the unseen battles rise. For it is written, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. And I cling to this promise as a shield over my thoughts, over my home, over every hidden corner of my life. And if you dare to step away now, you risk allowing fear to rewrite what has already been declared over you. So stay anchored, whisper it out loud, and write, no weapon prevails against me. I call upon this moment with intensity, knowing that hesitation invites weakness. And the scripture declares, submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And so I resist every whisper of doubt, every shadow that attempts to creep into my path. And I warn you, do not disengage from this prayer, because the very second you disconnect, you may allow the resistance to weaken. Stay present, stay alert, and affirm boldly, I resist and I stand firm. Let every hidden plan against me dissolve before it takes shape, for it is spoken. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. And I envision that encampment now, surrounding every step I take, guarding every decision I make. And if you feel even the slightest urge to stop reading or listening, understand that persistence here is your defense. So remain and declare, I am surrounded and delivered. Saint George, warrior of unwavering resolve, step into the unseen battlefield where intentions are formed. For it is written, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And I embrace this truth with a grip that cannot be loosened, refusing to let any external force redefine my identity or my destiny. And if you abandon this prayer midway, you may weaken the grip you are building right now. So stay with me and affirm, what is within me is greater. I declare that no eye seeking my downfall can find clarity, no voice wishing harm can gain authority, because the word proclaims, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, and in that shadow I remain hidden, protected, unreachable. And if you step away from this moment, you step away from that covering. So hold your ground and write, I dwell and I abide. Let confusion fall upon every harmful intention directed toward me. As it is written, the Lord will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before you. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you 7 ways. And I declare that scattering now over every threat, visible or invisible, and if you are tempted to stop, remember that persistence seals this declaration. So stay and affirm, every attack scatters. Saint George, stand firm beside me as I refuse to surrender even a fragment of my peace. For it is spoken, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. And I choose that steadfastness now, locking my focus into this moment, refusing distraction, refusing doubt. And if you disengage, you interrupt that peace, so remain and declare, my mind is steady and guarded. I declare that every thought formed against me dissolves before it gains strength, because the word declares, we take captive every thought to make it obedient. And I seize control over the unseen, refusing to allow negativity to root itself within me or around me. And if you abandon this prayer, You risk letting those thoughts roam freely, so stay rooted and right. Every thought is under control. Let no darkness recognize my path. Let no harm locate my presence. For it is written, "The Lord is faithful, and He will strengthen you and protect you from the evil one." And I cling to that faithfulness with unyielding determination, knowing that protection is not distant but active, present, immediate. And if you walk away now, you may disconnect from that awareness, so remain and affirm, "I am strengthened and protected." Saint George, let your example of courage ignite an unbreakable fire within me. For the scripture says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And I take that wherever into every corner of my life, refusing fear entry, refusing discouragement space. And if you stop now, you allow hesitation to creep in, so stay and declare, "I move with courage." I declare that every hidden trap set before me is exposed and dismantled, because it is written, "Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence." And I believe that rescue is already in motion, unfolding even as I speak. And if you disconnect from this moment, you risk stepping unaware into what was meant to be revealed. So remain attentive and right. Every trap is broken. Let my presence become untraceable to harm, invisible to ill intention, unreachable by negativity. For it is spoken, "The name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe." And I run into that safety now, refusing to step outside its boundaries. And if you leave this prayer, you symbolically step outside that tower. So stay within and affirm, "I am safe within the refuge." Saint George, guide my steps so that even my movements confuse what seeks to harm me. For it is written, "He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." And I trust that guidance without hesitation, knowing that every step is watched, every path is guarded. And if you abandon this prayer, you risk losing awareness of that guidance. So remain and declare, "My steps are guarded." I declare that my life is sealed in a protection that cannot be undone. For the word declares, "You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance." And I hold on to that surrounding now, refusing to let any disturbance penetrate it. And if you stop now, you loosen your focus on that truth. So stay and write, "I am hidden and delivered." Let every voice that rises against me lose its strength before it reaches me. For it is written, "No harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent." And I extend that promise over every space I inhabit, every place I enter, every environment I influence. And if you leave this prayer unfinished, you risk leaving that declaration incomplete. So remain and affirm, "No harm comes near me." Saint George, stand as a symbol of persistence as I refuse to break this moment of connection. For it is spoken, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles." And I claim that renewal now, rising above every attempt to pull me down. And if you disengage, you interrupt that ascent. So stay and declare, "My strength is renewed." I declare once more, with unwavering conviction, that those who wish me harm cannot touch me, cannot see me, and cannot even form thoughts against me that succeed. Because the word declares, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" And I lock myself into that truth without hesitation, without retreat, and I urge you, do not make the mistake of stepping away now. Stay until this is sealed in your spirit and type with boldness, "I will not leave. I am covered. I am untouchable." I lift my voice in a trembling cry, calling upon Saint George, warrior of unwavering courage, and I refuse to whisper, for this plea must shake the unseen realms and echo through every shadow that dares surround me. I stand here with urgency burning in my chest, declaring that I will not step away from this moment, because to abandon this prayer is to open doors that should remain sealed, and you know it deep within your spirit. So remain here with me, let your heart stay anchored, and say within yourself, "Right now, I will not leave. I will not be shaken. I will not surrender." Because the word says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And that truth is not distant. It is breathing over you now, pressing against every fear trying to rise. I cry out with intensity, asking that every hidden threat, every silent attack, every whisper of destruction be exposed and shattered before it even reaches my path. And if you are listening, Do not drift away, because something is being broken in this very second. Something that has tried to cling to your life for far too long. And if you dare to stay until the end of this moment, you will feel the shift within your spirit. So speak it quietly. Where you are, I remain, I endure, I receive strength, because it is written, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And that presence is surrounding you right now, like a shield no darkness can pierce. I call upon divine protection to stand like an unbreakable wall around my body, my home, my thoughts, and every step I take. And I declare with fierce conviction that nothing formed in darkness has permission to prevail. And listen carefully. Do not scroll away. Do not close this moment, because what you are about to receive cannot be recovered if you walk away now. So anchor your attention and say, I claim protection over my life today, because the word speaks clearly. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. And that promise is not symbolic. It is active, it is alive, it is unfolding around you even now. I refuse to allow fear to dictate my path. I refuse to allow unseen forces to dictate my destiny. And I call upon the strength that flows from faith that refuses to break. And you, listening right now, must not disengage, because this is the moment where chains begin to loosen. And if you leave too soon, you risk carrying what was meant to fall off you today. So declare it boldly. I am not leaving. I am staying until my spirit is renewed. Because the word declares, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. And that help is not distant. It is immediate. It is pressing into your situation right now. I stand in the authority of faith, not weak, not hesitant, but fully aware that divine power is moving through this very moment. And I call upon that force to dismantle every hidden plan set against me. And listen closely, because this is not casual. This is urgent. If you step away now, you may miss what your spirit has been waiting for. So stay anchored and whisper, I will not abandon this moment, because it is written, the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. And that encampment is forming around you like an invisible fortress that no darkness can breach. I speak directly against every form of oppression, every unseen burden, every weight that has tried to settle into my life. And I declare that it must release its grip right now. And if you are still here, do not become distracted, because this is where transformation begins to take shape. And if you leave now, you may carry what was meant to be lifted. So say it with conviction. I am being set free in this moment. Because the word proclaims, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And that freedom is not a distant hope. It is a present reality unfolding in your life. I call upon courage to rise within me like a fire that cannot be extinguished. And I ask that every trembling thought be replaced with bold certainty. And you must stay with me here, because something is awakening inside you that has been dormant for too long. And if you disconnect now, you may silence what was meant to rise. So declare it where you are. I choose courage over fear, because it is written, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And that promise is walking beside you even now. I lift my voice higher, refusing to be quiet in the face of anything that tries to challenge my peace. And I declare that peace must take its rightful place within me. And listen carefully, because this is not a moment to step away. This is a moment to press in deeper. And if you leave, you risk allowing unrest to remain. So stay here and say, peace belongs to me today. Because the word says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. And that peace is settling into your spirit right now. I call upon strength that does not fade, endurance that does not collapse, and faith that does not retreat. And I declare that I will not be overcome. And you, listening right now, must not disconnect, because this is where resilience is being built within you. And if you leave now, you may miss the very strength you have been praying for. So say it clearly. I am receiving strength right now, because it is written, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. And that renewal is flowing into you at this very second. I stand firm, refusing to allow doubt to take root, refusing to allow uncertainty to grow, and I declare that clarity must replace confusion. And listen closely, because this is not the time to step away, this is the time to remain. And if you leave now, you risk carrying confusion that was meant to be removed. So declare it. Clarity is entering my life, because the word says, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace." And that order is being restored within you even now. I call upon protection over my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, and I declare that nothing toxic will take hold within me. And if you are still here, do not drift away, because this is where your mind begins to align with truth. And if you leave too soon, you may miss the shift that is happening. So say it boldly, "My mind is protected, because it is written, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." And that peace is settling over your thoughts. Right now, I refuse to accept defeat. I refuse to accept limitation. And I declare that victory must manifest in every area of my life. And listen carefully, because this is not the moment to step away. This is the moment to hold on tighter. And if you leave, you may delay what is already being released. So declare it. Victory is mine today, because the word proclaims, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." And that conquering power is rising within you now. I call upon restoration to begin, to rebuild what has been broken, to renew what has been lost. And I declare that nothing will remain in ruins. And if you are listening, do not leave now, because this is where rebuilding begins. And if you walk away, you may interrupt what is being restored. So say it with conviction. Restoration is happening in my life, because it is written, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten," and that restoration is already in motion. I stand in faith, unwavering, unshaken, and I declare that nothing will move me from this place of trust, and you must stay here, because this is where faith becomes unbreakable. And if you leave now, you risk weakening what is being strengthened. So say it clearly, "My faith is growing stronger," because the word says, faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of God. And that word is strengthening you right now. I call upon light to drive out every shadow, every hidden darkness, every concealed threat, and I declare that nothing will remain hidden. And listen carefully, do not step away, because this is where exposure happens. And if you leave, you may allow darkness to linger. So declare it. Light is filling my life, because it is written, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." And that light is surrounding you now. I refuse to be silent. I refuse to be passive. And I declare that I will stand firm against anything that rises against me. And if you are still here, do not disengage, because this is where your stance becomes unshakable. And if you leave, you may lose ground that is being secured. So, say it boldly, "I stand firm today," because the word says, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." And that armor is being placed upon you now. I call upon divine covering over every aspect of my life, and I declare that nothing will penetrate what is protected. And listen closely, because this is not the time to leave. This is the time to remain fully present. And if you step away now, you may miss the covering that is being established. So declare it. "I am covered and protected, because it is written, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart." And that covering is surrounding you completely. I trust that no weapon, whether physical or spiritual, can reach my body or my soul under divine protection. And I hold on to this truth with unwavering intensity, refusing to let go, refusing to step away. And if you are still here, do not break this connection now, because this is where everything aligns. And if you leave, you may delay what is already unfolding. So declare it with all your strength. "I will stay until my breakthrough is complete," because the word declares, "The Lord will fight for you." You need only to be still, and that fight is already being won around you right now. I call upon St. George, warrior of unwavering courage. In this very moment when my spirit trembles and my heart refuses to remain silent, I stand here knowing that unseen battles rage around me, and I refuse to be defenseless. Scripture declares in full voice, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And I cling to these words as armor over my soul. I declare that fear will not root itself in me, that oppression will not settle in my home, that darkness will not claim authority over my path. If you are hearing this, do not scroll away. Do not turn your attention elsewhere, because abandoning this moment may open doors you cannot see. Say it with conviction wherever you are. I will not retreat. I will stand firm. I believe that all negative forces break before they reach me, just as chains and ropes are broken before binding me. And I declare that every hidden trap loses its strength before it touches my life. The word speaks, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn." And I take this promise as a living shield. Saint George, stand beside me in this unseen battlefield, where intentions are concealed and attacks are silent. If you feel the weight lifting already, do not ignore it, do not dismiss it, because something is shifting right now. Type it in your heart. Speak it out loud if you must. I am protected, I am covered, I am untouchable. Right now, I refuse to allow confusion to cloud my mind or doubt to take root in my thoughts, because it is written, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And I claim this truth as my foundation. Saint George, guide my steps where my vision fails, strengthen my voice where silence has held me captive. If you walk away from this prayer, you risk returning to the same chains that tried to hold you down, and you know those chains have names: fear, anxiety, oppression, delay. Do not let them reclaim you. Declare with intensity, "My mind is clear, my spirit is strong, my life is guarded." There are forces that attempt to weaken resolve, to whisper defeat before victory has even begun. But I reject them completely, because the word declares, "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." And I stand on that resistance with unwavering determination. Saint George, ride before me. Cut through what I cannot see. Dismantle what I cannot touch. If you feel something pulling you away from this moment, recognize it, because distraction is often the first doorway to defeat. Stay here, stay locked in this prayer, and say it boldly. Nothing will pull me away from my breakthrough. I call for strength not born of flesh, but forged through divine authority, because it is written, "Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest." And I refuse to walk as though I am alone. Saint George, remind me that courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to bow to it. If you leave this prayer halfway, you may interrupt what is being built for your protection. Do not take that risk. Speak now. I am covered wherever I go. I am guarded in every step, every hidden enemy, every unseen opposition, every silent scheme collapses right now, because truth stands firm. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. And I claim that encampment around my life. Saint George, stand at every entrance, every doorway, every threshold of my existence. If you ignore this moment, you may be allowing doors to remain open that should already be shut. Close them now with your declaration. No evil crosses into my space. No harm settles in my home. I refuse to be bound by what tried to limit me, because the word speaks with authority. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. And I walk in that freedom without hesitation. Saint George, cut every rope, break every chain, dismantle every restraint placed upon my destiny. If you step away from this prayer, you risk stepping back into captivity without realizing it. Stay present, stay engaged, and say, "I am free, I remain free, I will not return to bondage." There is no darkness that can outlast the light that rises within me now, because it is written, "The light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not." And I declare that darkness cannot understand, cannot overcome, cannot consume what is being ignited here. Saint George, carry that light before me like a blazing fire. If you leave this moment, you may dim what is meant to shine fully in your life. Do not let that happen. Declare, "My light cannot be extinguished." Every attack that was sent in silence is exposed. Every plan that was formed in secrecy is dismantled, because the word declares, "Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel." And I stand in that assurance. Saint George, dismantle every hidden force that thought it would go unnoticed. If you scroll away, if you abandon this prayer, you may leave those things unchallenged. Stay firm and say, Nothing hidden has power over me. I stand in authority, not my own, but one that cannot be shaken, because it is written, "Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world." And I hold on to that truth as my identity. St. George, remind me that what stands within me is stronger than anything that stands against me. If you leave this prayer now, you may forget who you truly are. Do not forget. Speak it clearly. What is in me is greater than what opposes me. Every fear that tried to define me is now broken. Every doubt that tried to silence me is now erased, because it is written, "The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles." And I cry out with confidence. St. George, stand as a witness to this cry, carry it forward. If you stop now, you may silence the very voice that is calling your deliverance. Stay here and declare, "I will be heard, I will be delivered. No delay will hold me back, no stagnation will trap me, because the word says, 'They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles,' and I rise above every limitation." St. George, lift me higher than what tried to hold me down. If you leave this moment, you may remain grounded when you were meant to rise. Do not accept that. Say, "I rise above every limitation." Every heavy burden that tried to settle on my shoulders is removed now, because it is written, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee." And I release everything that is not meant to remain. St. George, help me lay it down completely. If you stop now, you may pick those burdens back up without realizing it. Stay present and declare, "I release every weight. I refuse to carry it again." No voice of accusation will stand. No voice of condemnation will remain, because the word declares, "There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, and I stand free from every false judgment." St. George, silence every accusing whisper. If you leave now, you may allow those voices to return louder than before. Do not allow it. Speak. No accusation has power over me. Every closed door that was meant to open will respond now, because it is written, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." And I knock with unwavering persistence. St. George, stand beside me as doors respond. If you abandon this prayer, you may stop knocking too soon. Do not stop. Say, "Doors are opening for me now. I refuse to be shaken by what I see or what I feel, because truth declares, we walk by faith, not by sight, and I choose faith over fear in every moment." St. George, anchor me in that faith. If you leave now, you may fall back into what you see instead of what is promised. Stay grounded and declare, "I walk by faith, I will not be shaken." Every step I take is ordered. Every path I walk is guided, because it is written, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord," and I trust that direction without hesitation. St. George, walk ahead of me. Clear what needs to be cleared. If you step away now, you may begin to walk without direction again. Do not risk it. Say, "My steps are guided. My path is secure." Nothing that was meant for harm will reach its destination. Nothing that was sent to destroy will succeed, because the word declares, "Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence." And I stand in that deliverance. St. George, intercept every attack. If you leave this moment, you may step back into vulnerability. Stay here and declare, "I am delivered from every trap." I remain here, fully engaged, fully present, refusing to disconnect, because something is being established that cannot be undone. And if I walk away now, I risk losing what is being built. St. George stands as a witness, and I stand as one who refuses to retreat, anchored in every word spoken, holding firm to every promise declared, knowing that what has begun here continues to unfold, continues to expand, continues to move forward without interruption as I stay locked into this moment, declaring without hesitation, without pause, without distraction, that I will remain until everything meant for me is secured and nothing can take it away. O mighty warrior St. George, I cry out with a trembling soul that refuses to surrender to fear, asking you to stretch your shield over me right now, not later, not tomorrow, but in this exact moment where unseen battles surround my life and threaten everything I love. Just as it is written, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. of whom shall I be afraid? Let that truth echo through my bones and silence every whisper of defeat that tries to take root within me. If you feel your strength weakening even for a second, do not scroll away, because this is the very second your breakthrough is being prepared. And leaving now could mean allowing darkness to grow unchecked in your home. Stay anchored in these words and declare with me, I will not walk unguarded, I will not stand exposed, I am being covered now. I ask you, St. George, to ride before me in every path I take, cutting through every hidden trap, every unseen envy, every silent curse that dares to follow me. For it is written, no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. And I cling to this promise with urgency, as someone who knows what it feels like to stand on the edge of losing everything. Listen carefully. This is not just a prayer. This is a shield being formed around your life. And if you abandon it now, you risk walking back into battles unprotected. Type within your heart, and, if you can, even say it aloud. I remain until the end. I refuse to give up my protection. Extend your strength over my mind, St. George, because battles are not only fought outside, but within the silence of thoughts that try to convince me I am alone. Yet it is written, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And I hold on to this like someone gripping the last rope above a deep fall. If you are still here reading, understand this is not coincidence. You are drawn into this moment because your spirit needs reinforcement. Do not let distraction steal what is being built over you right now. Say it within yourself. I choose courage. I reject fear. I will not leave this covering unfinished. St. George, stand at the doors of my home and guard every entrance, visible and invisible, because I know that not all dangers knock before entering. As it is written, the Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. Let this promise become a living wall around my family, my peace, and my future. If you stop now, you risk leaving those doors unguarded, and you know how quickly chaos can slip in when vigilance is broken. Stay here, remain focused, and if you believe your household deserves protection, declare it boldly. My home is guarded, my family is covered, no harm will cross this threshold. I ask you to fight beside me in moments when I feel too weak to even stand, because there are battles that drain the soul before the body can react. Yet it is written, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, and I hold on to that stillness as a strategy, not as surrender. If you are feeling tired, overwhelmed, or close to giving up, this is precisely where you must not walk away. Leaving now is exactly what your struggles want, because they thrive when you disconnect from strength. Stay present and affirm, I will stand, even in stillness, knowing I am not fighting alone. St. George, let your shield intercept every attack aimed at my destiny, every delay, every confusion, every setback disguised as coincidence. For it is written, we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, and I refuse to believe that my story ends in defeat. If you have ever felt like life is pushing you backwards, this is your moment to resist that narrative. Do not scroll, do not abandon this prayer, because your turning point may be hidden within the very next breath you take here. Declare it, my path is being corrected, my future is being restored. Place courage inside my chest, St. George, not a temporary courage that fades, but a fire that refuses to be extinguished even when storms intensify. As it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Let that power rise now and silence every doubt that tries to choke my progress. If you feel hesitation right now, understand that hesitation is often the doorway fear uses to enter. Do not give it access. Stay with this prayer and say firmly, I receive power. I reject fear. I am standing stronger now. Stand before every challenge I am about to face, St. George, because there are situations ahead that I cannot yet see, but will soon encounter. Yet it is written, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, and I refuse to walk that valley unaccompanied. If you leave this moment, you risk stepping into tomorrow without reinforcing your spirit today. Stay grounded here and affirm, I will walk forward protected. I will not face tomorrow alone. I call upon the courage and unwavering spirit of St. George, not as a distant legend, but as a living witness to endurance, a fighter who stood when fear surrounded him and darkness pressed close. And in this very moment I lean into that same strength, asking for a fire within my soul that refuses to go out, even when everything around me feels like it is collapsing, even when discouragement whispers that I am not enough, that I should stop, that I should give up, because deep inside I know there is a force greater than every doubt rising against me, and I hold on to the truth spoken in the book of Isaiah, where it is written in full, that those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. And I refuse to faint right now. I refuse to surrender my purpose. I refuse to let this moment define my ending. And if you are listening, do not scroll away. Do not abandon this. Prayer, because leaving now is like walking away from your own breakthrough. And I need you to declare with me in your heart, or even type it where you are. I will not give up. I will not surrender. I will stay until strength rises inside me again. Right here, in this breath, I confront every shadow of discouragement that has been trying to take root inside my mind. Every voice that has told me I am weak, that I am incapable, that I will fail, and I reject it completely because I stand on the truth written in the second letter to the Corinthians, where it says in full that the grace of the Lord is sufficient and that power is made perfect in weakness. And so I no longer fear my weakness. I embrace it as the very place where divine strength begins to move, where something greater than me takes control and lifts me beyond what I could ever do alone. And listen carefully, because if you walk away from this moment, you risk letting that discouragement grow stronger. You risk allowing fear to settle deeper into your life. And that is not what you want. You do not want your future shaped by fear. So stay here, stay engaged, and if you feel even the smallest spark of resistance rising inside you, type, right now, I choose strength over fear, because your declaration has power and it is shifting something unseen. I lift my heart with intensity and urgency, calling on a resilience that does not break under pressure, a resilience that stands like a warrior in the face of storms, just as St. George stood against what seemed impossible. And I remember the words written in the book of Joshua where it says in full to be strong and courageous, to not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord goes with you and will never leave nor forsake you. And I cling to that promise as if my life depends on it, because in truth it does. My peace depends on it. My future depends on it. My ability to move forward depends on it. And if you are hearing this, do not treat this as just another moment. This is not casual. This is not ordinary. This is a turning point. And if you leave now, you risk missing what could change everything for you. So stay present, and declare with conviction, I am not alone. I am not abandoned. I am rising through this. There is a battle happening within me, a battle between giving up and pushing forward, between fear and faith, between silence and declaration. And I choose to fight. I choose to stand. I choose to rise. Because the words written in the book of Psalms declare in full that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For the Lord is with me. The rod and the staff comfort me. And I hold on to that as a shield against every dark thought trying to invade my peace. And listen, do not underestimate this moment, because if you allow your attention to drift, if you let your focus break, discouragement will creep back in quietly, and before you realize it, it will take hold again. And you do not want that. You want freedom, you want strength, so stay here, stay locked in, and if you believe you are being protected even now, type I am protected and I will not fall. I feel the weight of discouragement trying to press down on me, trying to slow me, trying to convince me that progress is impossible. But I refuse to accept that lie, because the truth spoken in the book of Philippians declares in full that I can do all things through the one who strengthens me. And that means, even in this moment of weakness, even in this moment of doubt, there is a strength available to me that is greater than anything I am facing. And I reach for it with everything I have. And you must do the same, because if you hesitate, if you doubt too long, you risk losing the momentum that is building right now inside your spirit. And this is not the time to step back. This is the time to lean in deeper, to hold on tighter, to declare louder. So do not leave. Do not disconnect. Instead type, I receive strength beyond my limits and feel it begin to rise within you. There is something powerful happening right now, something unseen but deeply real, a shift from weakness to strength, from despair to hope, and I refuse to let anything interrupt it. Not distraction, not doubt, not fear, because I know that the words written in the book of Romans declare in full that if the Lord is for me, who can be against me? And that truth stands like a wall around me, protecting me, lifting me, reminding me that I am not fighting alone. And if you leave this moment, if you walk away from this prayer, you risk stepping out of that protection. You risk disconnecting from the very source of strength that is being activated right now, and that is not worth it. So stay focused, and declare boldly, nothing can stand against me because I am not alone. I refuse to let discouragement define my identity. I refuse to accept defeat as my destiny. I refuse to believe that my story ends in struggle, because I know there is a greater plan unfolding, even if I cannot see it fully yet. And I hold on to the words written in the book of Jeremiah, where it says in full that there are plans for welfare and not for evil, to give a future and a hope. And that promise is not distant, it is active, it is present, it is working even now, and you must not disconnect from it. You must not allow distraction to pull you away, because what is happening here is too important, too powerful to ignore. So stay engaged, stay connected, and type, I trust the process, even when I cannot see it. The weight of discouragement begins to lose its grip as I press deeper into faith, as I lean further into the promises that have been spoken, and I feel something shifting, something lifting, something breaking. And I remember the words written in the book of Hebrews that declare in full that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And I hold on to that evidence even when my eyes cannot confirm it, because I know it is real, I know it is working. And if you leave this moment, if you allow yourself to disconnect, you risk losing that sense of unseen movement, that quiet transformation that is happening right now. So stay, do not move, do not scroll away, and declare with conviction, I believe even when I cannot see, I stand in this moment refusing to bow to discouragement, refusing to give in to exhaustion, refusing to accept limitations that were never meant to define me. And I draw strength from the words written in the book of Ephesians that declare in full to be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. And that strength is not distant, it is not unreachable, it is right here, available, present, waiting to be embraced. And you must not step away now, because this is where everything begins to shift. This is where weakness turns into power. This is where doubt turns into certainty. So stay here, stay connected, and type I step into strength right now. And as this continues to unfold, as strength replaces weakness and hope rises where despair once lived, I remain here, fully engaged, fully present, refusing to let go, refusing to step back, refusing to allow anything to interrupt what is being built within me. And I call you to do the same, because leaving now is not just leaving a prayer, it is stepping away from a moment that could redefine your entire path. And you do not want to miss that. You do not want to look back and realize you walked away too soon. So stay until the very end. Stay until every word has settled into your spirit, and declare, I will not leave before my breakthrough begins. I call upon St. George, the fearless rider who faced darkness without retreat, and I lift my voice with urgency that echoes through every corner of my soul, refusing silence, refusing doubt, refusing defeat, because it is written in the book of Isaiah, the word says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. And I cling to this promise as a shield over my life, as I declare that I will not step away from this prayer, not even for a moment, because leaving now would open doors to battles unseen. And if you are hearing this, type right now, I will stay until the end, and let your faith begin to rise like fire within you. I stand in the presence of the Almighty, trembling yet determined, invoking the courage that once burned within St. George, asking that the same unshakable strength be poured into my spirit. For it is written in the book of Joshua, the word declares, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And I take these words not as distant history, but as living breath, entering my lungs, strengthening my bones. And if you dare to believe this is for you, write in your heart and declare with your mouth, I will not fear what comes against me. I rely on His powerful weapons, not as violence, but as symbols of divine justice and defense against all evil. And I ask that every invisible chain, every silent oppression, every hidden attack be shattered right now. For the book of Psalms proclaims, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And I refuse to give space to fear. I refuse to bow to anxiety. And if you feel something shifting within you, do not scroll away. Do not break this moment, because something is happening beyond what your eyes can see. Let every force that has tried to weaken my mind be silenced. Let every whisper of doubt be crushed under the authority given by heaven. And let the spirit of boldness rise like a storm within me. For it is written in the book of 2 Timothy, the word says, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." And I take hold of that power. I embrace that clarity. And if you want your mind to be free, declare right now, "My thoughts belong to truth and not to fear." I refuse to walk in confusion. I refuse to remain in cycles that drain my life. And I ask that the same clarity that guided St. George in battle guide me in every decision, every step, every thought. Because it is written in the book of Proverbs, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths." And I surrender my plans, I surrender my doubts, and I step into direction that cannot fail. Do not leave this prayer now, because something is breaking, something is shifting, something is being restored. And if you disconnect at this moment, you may miss the very breakthrough you have been waiting for. So stay with intention, stay with faith, stay with expectation. For it is written in the book of Hebrews, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And I choose to believe. Before I see, I choose to trust before I understand. Let every injustice that has risen against me be overturned. Let every hidden scheme be exposed. Let every enemy that thought I would fall witness my rising. For it is written in the book of Romans, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" And I hold on to that truth like a sword that cuts through every lie. And if you believe that no force can stand against what is for you, declare right now, "Nothing formed against me will stand." I call for protection over my home, over my family, over every place my feet touch. And I ask that no darkness cross the threshold of my life, because it is written in the book of Psalms, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." And I step into that shadow. I remain in that covering, and I refuse to step out of it for anything or anyone. Let courage replace hesitation. Let strength replace weakness. Let certainty replace confusion. And let the fire of perseverance burn within me without ceasing. For it is written in the book of Galatians, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." And I will not lose heart. I will not step back. I will not give up, no matter how long the battle seems to last. If you are still here, this is not by accident. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. And walking away now would mean turning your back on something that has already begun. So stay anchored, stay focused, stay connected, because the book of Jeremiah declares, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." And I claim that future with unwavering conviction. Let every burden that has weighed down my spirit be lifted. Let every heaviness dissolve. Let every tear be transformed into strength, because it is written in the book of Matthew, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And I step into that rest, not as escape, but as renewal, not as weakness, but as restoration. I call for transformation in every area of my life, visible and invisible, known and unknown. And I refuse to settle for anything less than what has been spoken over me. For it is written in the book of 2 Corinthians, "If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new." And I step into that newness without hesitation. Do not allow distraction to steal this moment. Do not allow doubt to interrupt this flow, because this is where things begin to change. This is where patterns break. This is where new paths open. And if you feel something stirring within you, Declare it boldly. I am not leaving. I will see this through. I will witness what is being done in my life. Let every closed door that was meant for my good be opened. Let every opportunity that aligns with purpose find me. And let every delay be turned into divine timing, because it is written in the book of Revelation, "Behold, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. And I walk toward that door. With certainty and boldness, I reject every limitation that has tried to define me. I reject every label that has tried to confine me, and I step into identity rooted in truth. Because it is written in the book of 1 Peter, you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, His own special people, and I accept that identity fully, without hesitation. Let peace settle within me, even in the midst of chaos. Let stillness anchor me, even when storms rise. For it is written in the book of John, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. And I receive that peace deeply. I declare that I will walk forward with unwavering determination, guided by truth, strengthened by faith, and protected by divine authority. And I will not turn back. I will not retreat. I will not surrender, because what has begun within me cannot be undone, and what is being established cannot be destroyed. And if you are still here, declare with conviction, I remain, I endure, I overcome, O warrior of faith. St. George, I stand here in this very moment with my heart trembling, my soul exposed, my thoughts restless, crying out for intervention, for strength that does not come from this world, for courage that breaks fear apart before it can even take shape. I refuse to be silent in the face of what tries to destroy me, because it is written in the book of Isaiah that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. And I hold on to these words as if my life depends on them, because it truly does. Do not look away now. Do not allow your focus to weaken, because what is being built in this very second can either shield you or leave you unprotected. Right now, as this prayer unfolds, there is a battle that cannot be seen with human eyes. A silent war that tries to creep into homes, into minds, into hearts. And if you abandon this moment, you risk allowing darkness to take territory that does not belong to it. Stay here, remain present, because the scripture says in the book of Psalms that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And if these words are true, then fear has no rightful place in you. Type right now, I will not fear, and anchor yourself in this declaration as we move forward without hesitation. O St. George, rider of conviction, breaker of chains, I call upon your intercession not as someone distant, but as one who understands struggle, who has faced oppression, who has endured and prevailed. There are forces attempting to discourage, to exhaust, to weaken resolve, but I declare with the authority of the word that greater is He who is in me than he who is in the world, as spoken in the first letter of John, and I cling to that truth as a shield raised high. Do not scroll away, do not disconnect, because something is shifting right now. Something is aligning that requires your full attention. If you leave this moment unfinished, you risk interrupting what is being established in your favor, and that is not something to take lightly. The word says in the book of Joshua that be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And if that promise stands, then hesitation must fall. Say it aloud or write it now. I will stay until the end. I will not abandon this moment, because what is at stake is greater than comfort or distraction. There are doors that must be closed, paths that must be cleared, and influences that must be driven out with authority that comes not from human strength, but from divine alignment. As it is written in the book of James, submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And I declare resistance now, not tomorrow, not later, but in this very second. Stay engaged, stay connected, because every second you remain here strengthens what is being built around you. O St. George, stand beside those who are listening, those who are reading, those who are holding on even when it feels difficult, and let their hearts be ignited with a courage that cannot be shaken. The word declares in the book of Romans that if God is for us, who can be against us? And this is not just a question, it is a challenge to every force that tries to rise up. Do not lose focus now, because what is being declared is not empty. It carries weight. It carries consequence. Right now, speak this into your reality. I am protected. I am covered. I am not alone. And let that declaration echo within you as we continue. The scripture says in the book of Proverbs that trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And that means even when things seem uncertain, there is a greater order at work. Do not step away from this, because stepping away now could mean stepping into confusion instead of clarity. O St. George, confront every hidden threat, every unseen attack, every silent influence that attempts to disrupt peace, and dismantle it with precision and authority. The word says in the book of Ephesians that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against powers of this dark world. And if that is true, then this prayer is not optional, it is necessary. Stay here, remain attentive, because awareness is part of your defense. There are moments when exhaustion tries to take over, when doubt whispers louder than truth, but the scripture reminds us in the book of Isaiah that those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Hold on to that. Do not release it, because letting go now could cost you more than you realize. Type now, I will not grow weary, and commit to that declaration. O St. George, break through resistance, cut through confusion, bring clarity where there is chaos, and stability where there is instability. The word says in the book of Philippians that I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. And this is not just encouragement, it is empowerment. Stay with this, because abandoning this moment means abandoning strength that is being offered to you right now. Do not underestimate what is happening. Do not treat this lightly, because what is being built is a barrier against what tries to enter uninvited. The scripture says in the book of Psalm that the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul, and restoration is taking place even now. Remain present, remain engaged, do not disconnect. O St. George, let your presence be a reminder that endurance is possible, that victory is not reserved for a few, but available to those who refuse to give up. The word says in the book of Hebrews that we must run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on what truly matters. Stay focused, do not drift, because drifting leads away from what is being secured. Right now, there is a line being drawn between what belongs and what does not, between what stays and what must go, and your presence here matters. The scripture says in the book of 2 Corinthians that we walk by faith, not by sight. And that means even when you cannot see, something is still happening. Do not leave now, because leaving now means stepping away from what you cannot yet see but will soon experience. O St. George, reinforce what is weak, strengthen what is fragile, and guard what is valuable, because there are things worth protecting that cannot be replaced. The word says in the book of Psalm that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. And that presence is active right now. Stay with it. Do not interrupt this flow, because interruption weakens what is being established. Say it again. I will stay. I will not give up. I will not abandon this moment. And let those words take root. The scripture says in the book of Galatians that let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And that promise depends on persistence. Remain here. Remain steady. O St. George, push back everything that tries to invade peace, everything that tries to steal focus, everything that tries to create instability. The word says in the book of John that, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. Hold on to that, because fear loses power when truth is embraced. There is still more unfolding, more being aligned, more being secured. And stepping away now would mean missing what is still in motion. The scripture says in the book of Lamentations that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness, and that renewal is happening even now. Stay, remain, continue. O St. George, I come with a trembling heart, standing at the edge of my own battles, feeling the weight of fear pressing against my chest, yet I refuse to surrender to it. Because I remember the words that say, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And I cling to this promise as if it were the very breath in my lungs, asking you to intercede so that courage may rise within me like a fire that cannot be extinguished, a fire that no darkness can suffocate, a fire that makes me stand when everything in me wants to fall. And listen closely. Do not let your mind wander now, because if you disconnect from this moment, you may allow fear to take control again. And you know what fear can do when it finds space inside your life. So right now, declare in your heart and type it if you must. I will not run. I will stand. I will fight. I will not give up. I ask for courage that is not fragile, not temporary, not dependent on circumstances, but a courage anchored in God, the one who said, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And I hold on to these words as if they were a shield placed over my soul, because I know that without this divine strength I am vulnerable, exposed, easily shaken by every storm that rises. But with it, I become unshakable, immovable. And you who are still here listening, do not make the mistake of leaving now. Because abandoning this prayer is like abandoning the protection that is being built around you in this very moment. Do you really want to risk facing your battles alone? Or will you stay and declare with conviction, "I am covered, I am strengthened, I am not alone, St. George. You who faced dragons and did not retreat, teach my spirit to remain firm when adversity shows its teeth, when problems roar loudly in my ears, when anxiety tries to paralyze my steps. Remind me of the truth that says, 'The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?'" Let these words echo inside me louder than any fear, louder than any doubt, louder than any voice that tells me I cannot. And if you feel something shifting inside you right now, do not ignore it, because this is the moment where transformation begins, where fear starts losing its grip. So stay, hold on, and if your heart agrees, say it boldly, "Fear will not dominate me. I am rising above it. I cry out for a courage that transforms weakness into strength, that turns hesitation into decisive action, that replaces trembling with authority, because I know that God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And I declare this truth not as a distant idea, but as a present reality that must manifest in every area of my life. And you who are still here, listen carefully. If you leave now, you may interrupt what is being built inside your spirit. You may walk away before the breakthrough takes place. And that is a risk you cannot afford. So remain. And if you believe, affirm it. I carry power. I carry courage. I carry strength. St. George, intercede so that I may face my battles, not with panic, not with despair, but with a confidence that is deeply rooted in God. A confidence that does not crumble under pressure. A confidence that does not fade when circumstances worsen. A confidence that stands firm because it is anchored in something eternal, something unshakable, something divine. And the word reminds me, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. And I hold on to this image, seeing myself as unmovable, as stable, as grounded. And if you are still listening, do not underestimate this moment, because what you declare now can shape what you will face later. So declare it. I am unshaken. I am established. I am firm. I ask that every hidden fear, every silent insecurity, every unspoken doubt be brought to light and destroyed, because what remains hidden often grows stronger, but what is exposed can be defeated. And the scripture says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." So let truth invade every corner of my mind, every shadow within my heart, dismantling every lie that has tried to convince me that I am not capable, not worthy, not strong enough. And if you feel resistance right now, if you feel the urge to leave, recognize it, because sometimes the very thing that tries to pull you away is the thing that fears your breakthrough. So stay, resist, and declare, "I choose truth, I choose freedom, I choose courage." St. George, stand beside me as I confront the battles that I have been avoiding, the challenges I have postponed, the fears I have tried to ignore. Give me the strength to face them head on, knowing that victory is not found in avoidance, but in confrontation. And the word declares, submit yourselves to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So I stand in submission to God, And I resist every force that tries to intimidate me, every voice that tries to silence me, every thought that tries to weaken me. And you who are here, do not withdraw now, because this is where resistance turns into victory. So say it with boldness. I resist fear. I resist doubt. I resist defeat. I ask for a courage that inspires not only me but those around me, a courage that becomes contagious, that lifts others, that strengthens others, that reminds others that they too can stand. Because when one person rises in faith, it creates a ripple effect that reaches far beyond what can be seen. And the scripture says, encourage one another and build each other up. So let my courage become a source of encouragement, a beacon of strength. And if you are still here, do not keep this moment to yourself. Declare it. I will rise and I will lift others with me. St. George, I ask that in moments of uncertainty, when the path ahead is unclear, when decisions feel overwhelming, when the future seems uncertain, that courage would guide my steps, that faith would illuminate my way, because it is written, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. So even when I cannot see the entire journey, I trust that each step will be guided, each move will be directed. And you who are listening, do not let uncertainty push you away from this moment, because clarity often comes after commitment. So stay and declare, I will move forward even when I cannot see everything. I ask for courage to endure, to persevere, to remain steadfast, even when results are delayed, even when answers seem distant, even when progress feels slow, because I know that endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint. So I refuse to give up prematurely. I refuse to abandon the process. I refuse to walk away before the breakthrough. And you who are here, listen carefully. Quitting now could cost you what you have been waiting for. So remain, hold on, and declare, I will endure, I will persevere, I will not quit. St. George, strengthen my heart against discouragement, against disappointment, against the weight of unmet expectations. Remind me that delays are not denials, that silence is not absence, that waiting is not wasted, because the word says, those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, they shall mount up with wings like eagles. And I cling to this promise, believing that strength is being renewed even now, even in this moment. And if you are still here, do not let impatience pull you away, because renewal is happening right now. So declare it. My strength is being renewed. I ask for courage to stand alone when necessary, to remain faithful even when others fall away, to stay committed even when support is lacking, because I know that God is with me. And if God is for me, who can be against me? And this truth becomes my foundation, my assurance, my confidence. And you who are listening, do not let loneliness convince you to give up, because you are not alone, not truly, not ever. So say it with conviction. I am not alone. God is with me. St. George, I ask that every attack against my mind be silenced, every negative thought be replaced, every destructive pattern be broken, because the battle often begins within. And if I win there, I can win everywhere. And the scripture says, take every thought captive to make it obedient. So I take control. I reject lies. I embrace truth. And if you are still here, do not underestimate the power of your thoughts, because they shape your reality. So declare it. My mind is aligned with truth. I ask for courage to speak, to declare, to proclaim what is right, even when it is difficult, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is unpopular, because silence can sometimes be the greatest enemy of truth. And I refuse to remain silent when I am called to speak. And you who are listening, do not silence your voice out of fear, because your voice carries power. So say it. I will speak with courage. St. George, I ask that courage would not be a temporary visitor in my life, but a permanent resident, something that defines me, something that shapes my decisions, something that influences my actions, because I do not want to be driven by fear. I want to be led by faith. And you who are here, do not settle for temporary strength. Pursue lasting transformation. So declare it. Courage lives in me. I ask that every area of my life be touched by this courage. My relationships, my decisions, my dreams, my purpose, that nothing remains untouched, that nothing remains unchanged, because I am ready for transformation, ready for growth, ready for victory. And you who are still here, Do not hold back. Do not limit what is possible. So declare it. My life is being transformed. Saint George, walk with me through every battle, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty, reminding me that I do not fight alone, that I am supported, that I am strengthened, that I am protected. And if you have stayed until this moment, do not leave now, because something is shifting, something is aligning, something is being prepared. So declare it with everything within you. I will stay until the end. I will not give up. I will receive my breakthrough. Saint Warrior Saint George, I come before you with a trembling heart that refuses to surrender, even as the storms around me rise like roaring oceans, threatening to swallow my peace. And I ask that you lean close to this cry, because it is not casual, it is urgent. It is the sound of a soul refusing to break. I ask for hope to be renewed within me, even when circumstances try to convince me otherwise, because it is written in the sacred word, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" And I cling to this truth as if my life depends on it, because it does. And if you feel even a flicker of doubt rising in your chest right now, do not scroll away. Do not abandon this moment. Stay here and declare with me in your own words, "I will not give up. I will stand firm. I refuse to let despair take root in my spirit. I refuse to allow fear to whisper lies that sound like truth. And I ask that courage be poured into me in a way that shakes everything inside my being awake. Because the word declares, 'Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.' And I hold on to this promise as if it were a lifeline thrown into deep waters. Do not make the mistake of stepping away from this. Prayer right now, because what is being stirred is not ordinary. It is decisive. It is life-shaping. And I urge you to type within your heart, or even aloud, "I am not alone. I am strengthened. I will endure." Saint George, rider who faced darkness without hesitation, stand beside me as I confront battles that cannot always be seen with the eyes. Battles that invade thoughts, weaken resolve, and try to silence the inner voice that knows I was made for more. Let the truth echo within me that says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." And let this not be just a phrase, but a force that breaks chains. Because there are chains here, invisible but heavy, and I feel them loosening even now. If you leave this moment, you risk tightening those chains again. So stay anchored, stay attentive, and declare, "My refuge is unshakable. My help is already here." I ask for hope to rise again, not as a fragile feeling that fades with circumstance, but as an unbreakable certainty rooted deep within my spirit. Because the word proclaims, "Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted in me? Hope thou in God." And I choose that command as my response to every shadow that tries to dim my vision. Listen carefully. This is not the time to drift away, because something is shifting within you right now. Something that cannot be reversed if you abandon it. So stay and whisper or type, "My hope is alive. My future is not lost." When exhaustion presses in and tells me that I cannot continue, that I should settle, that I should accept defeat quietly, I rise against that voice with the living truth that says, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." And I declare that my strength is not depleted. It is being renewed even now in ways I cannot fully see yet. Do not walk away from this moment, because renewal is happening beneath the surface. And if you disconnect, now you interrupt what is being built within you. So say it firmly, "My strength is returning. I will rise again." Saint George, stand as a symbol of relentless resistance within my path, reminding me that even when the odds appear overwhelming, there is a force greater than every obstacle aligned with me. And I hold on to the promise that says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper," letting those words become a shield around my thoughts, my home, my future. If you feel fear creeping in, do not give it room. Do not exit this prayer, because fear thrives in absence. And right now, you are not absent, you are present in power. So affirm, "No attack will succeed, I am protected." I ask that every hidden doubt be exposed and removed. Every silent anxiety be brought into the light and dismantled. Because it is written, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." And I claim that soundness of mind as my reality, refusing confusion, rejecting instability, embracing clarity that leads me forward step by step. Do not drift away now, because clarity is forming, direction is emerging, and if you abandon this moment, you risk returning to uncertainty. So stay and declare, my mind is clear, my path is opening. Let hope be rekindled in the deepest corners of my being, in places where disappointment once settled like dust, because I hold on to the truth that says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. And I believe that morning is not distant, it is approaching. It is already beginning to break through the darkness surrounding me. Do not make the mistake of stepping away before the light reaches you, because it is closer than you think. So say it boldly, my joy is coming, my night is ending. St. George, stand as a witness to my determination not to surrender, not to collapse under pressure, not to accept defeat as final, because I anchor myself in the promise that declares, the righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles. And I trust that my cry is not ignored, it is heard, it is answered, even now in ways unseen. Do not leave this space, because your voice matters in this moment. So affirm, my cry is heard, my deliverance is unfolding. I ask for resilience that refuses to break, a spirit that bends but does not shatter, because the word reminds me, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. And I choose endurance over escape, perseverance over surrender, because I know that what is ahead is greater than what I face now. Stay here, do not disconnect, because endurance is being built within you right now. So declare, I endure, I overcome, I will see victory. When confusion tries to cloud my direction, I hold on to the truth that says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. And I release the need to control every outcome, choosing instead to trust that I am being guided even when I cannot see the full path ahead. Do not leave this moment of alignment, because trust is fragile when interrupted. So stay and affirm, I trust, I move forward, I am guided. St. George, let your example ignite a fire within me that refuses complacency, that refuses silence in the face of adversity, because I embrace the truth that says, be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, and I rise into that strength, not as a concept, but as a living reality shaping my decisions and actions from this moment forward. Do not walk away now, because strength is taking root. So say, I stand firm, I am unshaken. I ask for hope to be renewed within me again and again, not as a single moment but as a continuous flow, because the word assures me, now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, and I open myself to that filling, refusing emptiness, rejecting despair, embracing fullness that overflows into every area of my life. Do not interrupt this flow, because what is filling you now is essential. So affirm, I am filled with hope, I am overflowing with peace. Let every voice that tells me I am not enough be silenced by the truth that declares, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me. And let that strength become evident in my actions, my words, my decisions, shaping a life that reflects resilience and unwavering faith. Do not step away, because strength grows through engagement. So say it now, I am capable, I am strengthened, I will prevail. St. George, stand with me as I move forward, not looking back at failures as definitions, but as lessons that have refined me, because I embrace the promise that says, forget those things which are behind, and reach forth unto those things which are before. And I stretch forward with intention, with focus, with determination that cannot be easily shaken. Do not leave this forward movement, because momentum is building, so declare, I move forward, I do not retreat. I ask that every barrier standing in my way begin to crumble, not slowly, but decisively, because I hold on to the truth that says, the Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. And I trust that battles I cannot win alone are already being handled beyond what I can see. Do not disconnect from this assurance, because it is powerful and active. So affirm, my battles are being fought, I stand in peace. Let hope rise once more within me, stronger than before, louder than doubt, more persistent than fear, because I believe the word that says, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts. And I refuse shame, I refuse defeat. I choose hope that stands unashamed, unwavering, unstoppable. Do not step away now, because this is the moment everything begins to turn. So declare, my hope stands. My life is changing. I will not give up. In the name of faith that refuses to collapse under pressure, I lift my voice and turn my heart towards St. George, asking that courage rise within me like a fire that cannot be extinguished. I ask that my spirit be anchored in the promise spoken in the Holy Scriptures. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? As written in the book of Psalms, chapter 27. Let these words not be distant, but alive inside me, shaping my thoughts and steadying my steps even when everything around me trembles. I ask for my faith to be strengthened so that no doubt can shake what God is building in me. Just as it is written, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. In the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 11, let that assurance take root so deeply that fear finds no place to remain. If you are still here, do not step away now, because something is being formed in this very moment that can change the direction of your life. Declare it within yourself. I will not abandon this prayer. I will stand until the end. St. George, warrior of conviction, intercede for the battles that cannot be seen with human eyes. Stand beside me when the unseen pressures attempt to weaken my resolve, just as Scripture declares, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against the powers of this dark world. From the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6. Let me not be naive about the struggles I face, but also never defeated by them, because I am not alone in this fight. I refuse to allow hesitation to rule my decisions, because it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. From the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1. Let this truth echo inside every thought I have, breaking every pattern of doubt that tries to settle in my heart. Stay with this moment, because leaving now may mean returning to the same cycle you have been trying to escape. Hold your ground and declare, I am receiving strength right now. St. George, ride ahead of me into every situation that threatens my peace, clearing paths where obstacles once stood. Let the promise spoken in Isaiah become my reality. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. As written in chapter 54, I ask not for an easy path, but for a victorious one, where every attack loses its power before it even reaches me. If you feel this stirring inside you, say it quietly or aloud. No weapon will overcome me. I ask for clarity when confusion tries to cloud my judgment, remembering the words, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all. From the letter of James, chapter 1. Let my mind not be overwhelmed by noise, but guided by divine direction that cannot be mistaken. Do not drift away now. This is where transformation begins, in the stillness where truth becomes undeniable. St. George, stand guard at the doors of my life, so that nothing enters that was not sent for my good. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 4. Let my heart be protected, not hardened, but discerning enough to recognize what builds and what destroys. Stay present, because what you are receiving now is not accidental. I call upon the strength described in the Scriptures. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. From the book of Isaiah, chapter 40. Let my exhaustion be replaced with endurance, and my weakness with resilience that surprises even me. If you have ever felt like giving up, this is the moment to resist that impulse. Say within yourself, I will keep going. St. George, help me confront what I have been avoiding with the boldness that truth requires. Let the words of Joshua become alive in me. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. From the book of Joshua, chapter 1. Let hesitation dissolve, replaced by decisive action rooted in faith. I refuse to allow past failures to define what is still possible. It is written, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on. From the letter to the Philippians, chapter 3. Let me move forward with intention, no longer chained to what cannot be changed. Do not stop here. Something is shifting, and if you remain, you will witness it unfold. St. George, stand beside me when opposition rises, reminding me that perseverance produces something greater. As it is written, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. From the letter to the Romans, chapter 5. Let my challenges not break me, but refine me into someone unshakable. I ask that my voice be aligned with truth, remembering death and life are in the power of the tongue. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 18. Let every word I speak build, strengthen, and declare what is right, never reinforcing fear or defeat. If you are still listening, this is your moment to speak life over yourself. Do not waste it. St. George, defend my household from every hidden threat, visible or invisible. Let the declaration of the Psalms surround my home. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. From Psalm 121. Let no harm approach, no chaos settle, no division take root. I call upon peace that surpasses understanding, as written, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. From the letter to the Philippians, chapter 4. Let this peace not depend on circumstances, but remain constant, even when everything else is uncertain. St. George, strengthen my endurance in moments when answers seem delayed. Let me hold on to the truth. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. From the letter to the Galatians, chapter 6. Let patience not feel like waiting in vain, but like preparation for something greater. I declare that nothing will separate me from divine purpose, because it is written, neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God. From the letter to the Romans, chapter 8. Let this certainty anchor me beyond all doubt. St. George, walk with me through every unknown path ahead, ensuring that I do not move blindly, but guided with precision. Let the promise stand firm. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. From Psalm 119. Let every step be illuminated. Even when the full journey is not yet visible, I remain here, engaged, attentive, refusing to disconnect from what is being formed in this moment, because I understand that stepping away now may mean missing what was meant specifically for me. I declare with conviction, I will stay, I will receive, I will not let this moment pass without transformation taking place within me right now. In the name of faith that refuses to collapse under pressure, I lift my voice and turn my heart towards St. George, asking that courage rise within me like a fire that cannot be extinguished. I ask that my spirit be anchored in the promise spoken in the Holy Scriptures. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? As written in the book of Psalms, chapter 27. Let these words not be distant, but alive inside me, shaping my thoughts and steadying my steps, even when everything around me trembles. I ask for my faith to be strengthened, so that no doubt can shake what God is building in me. Just as it is written, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. In the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 11, let that assurance take root so deeply that fear finds no place to remain. If you are still here, do not step away now, because something is being formed in this very moment that can change the direction of your life. Declare it within yourself. I will not abandon this prayer. I will stand until the end. St. George, warrior of conviction, intercede for the battles that cannot be seen with human eyes. Stand beside me when the unseen pressures attempt to weaken my resolve, just as Scripture declares. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against authorities, against the powers of this dark world. From the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6. Let me not be naive about the struggles I face, but also never defeated by them, because I am not alone in this fight. I refuse to allow hesitation to rule my decisions, because it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. From the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1. Let this truth echo inside every thought I have, breaking every pattern of doubt that tries to settle in my heart. Stay with this moment, because leaving now may mean returning to the same cycle you have been trying to escape. Hold your ground and declare, I am receiving strength right now. St. George, ride ahead of me into every situation that threatens my peace, clearing paths where obstacles once stood. Let the promise spoken in Isaiah become my reality. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, as written in chapter 54. I ask not for an easy path, but for a victorious one, where every attack loses its power before it even reaches me. If you feel this stirring inside you, say it quietly or aloud. No weapon will overcome me. I ask for clarity when confusion tries to cloud my judgment, remembering the words, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all." From the letter of James chapter 1. Let my mind not be overwhelmed by noise, but guided by divine direction that cannot be mistaken. Do not drift away now. This is where transformation begins, in the stillness where truth becomes undeniable. Saint George, stand guard at the doors of my life, so that nothing enters that was not sent for my good. As it is written, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 4. Let my heart be protected, not hardened, but discerning enough to recognize what builds and what destroys. Stay present, because what you are receiving now is not accidental. I call upon the strength described in the scriptures. Those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. From the book of Isaiah, chapter 40. Let my exhaustion be replaced with endurance, and my weakness with resilience that surprises even me. If you have ever felt like giving up, this is the moment to resist that impulse. Say within yourself, I will keep going. Saint George, help me confront what I have been avoiding with the boldness that truth requires. Let the words of Joshua become alive in me. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. From the book of Joshua, chapter 1. Let hesitation dissolve, replaced by decisive action rooted in faith. I refuse to allow past failures to define what is still possible. It is written, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on. From the letter to the Philippians, chapter 3. Let me move forward with intention, no longer chained to what cannot be changed. Do not stop here. Something is shifting, and if you remain, you will witness it unfold. Saint George, stand beside me when opposition rises, reminding me that perseverance produces something greater. As it is written, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope. From the letter to the Romans, chapter 5. Let my challenges not break me, but refine me into someone unshakable. I ask that my voice be aligned with truth, remembering death and life are in the power of the tongue. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 18. Let every word I speak build, strengthen, and declare what is right, never reinforcing fear or defeat. If you are still listening, this is your moment to speak life over yourself. Do not waste it. Saint George, defend my household from every hidden threat, visible or invisible. Let the declaration of the Psalms surround my home. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. From Psalm 121. Let no harm approach, no chaos settle, no division take root. I call upon peace that surpasses understanding, as written, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds. From the letter to the Philippians, chapter 4. Let this peace not depend on circumstances, but remain constant, even when everything else is uncertain. Saint George, strengthen my endurance in moments when answers seem delayed. Let me hold on to the truth. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. From the letter to the Galatians, chapter 6. Let patience not feel like waiting in vain, but like preparation for something greater. I declare that nothing will separate me from divine purpose, because it is written, neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God. From the letter to the Romans, chapter 8. Let this certainty anchor me beyond all doubt. Saint George, walk with me through every unknown path ahead, ensuring that I do not move blindly, but guided with precision. Let the promise stand firm. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. From Psalm 119. Let every step be illuminated. Even when the full journey is not yet visible, I remain here, engaged, attentive, refusing to disconnect from what is being formed in this moment, because I understand that stepping away now may mean missing what was meant specifically for me. I declare with conviction, I will stay, I will receive, I will not let this moment pass without transformation taking place within me. Right now, I call upon St. George with a heart that refuses to stay silent, with a soul that trembles between fear and hope, bringing every hidden burden into the light, because I refuse to carry these weights alone any longer. And I know that something is shifting right now, even if I cannot yet see it. Even if my eyes still search for answers in the dark, I stand here and declare that I will not walk away from this moment, because the one who abandons this prayer abandons the very protection being formed around their life. And I choose to remain. I choose to fight. I choose to believe that help is already moving. Even now I bring my needs forward honestly, trusting that divine help is already moving in my favor, even when my circumstances try to convince me otherwise, because it is written in the Holy Scriptures that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And these words echo through my spirit like a shield being lifted, like a sword being drawn, cutting through every doubt that has tried to take root inside of me. And if you are still here, do not let your mind wander. Do not let distractions steal this moment, because something is aligning for you right now, St. George. Warrior who did not retreat in the face of danger, stand beside me in this invisible battlefield where fear, anxiety, and unseen struggles try to overpower my peace. And just as it is written, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. Let this promise rise like fire in my chest, burning away every voice that told me I would fail, every whisper that said I am not enough. And if you feel this truth stirring inside you, declare it boldly where you are. Say, I will not be defeated, because your voice carries power even now. There are moments when the night feels endless, when the silence grows heavy, when even hope feels distant. But I refuse to surrender to that emptiness, because it is written, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And I hold on to that promise with everything in me, gripping it tighter than my fears, tighter than my doubts, because I know that what is coming is greater than what has been. And if you leave this prayer now, you risk stepping back into that darkness, without the light that is being ignited within you. So stay, remain, hold your ground, St. George. Ride ahead of me into every situation that I cannot control, into every place where my strength falls short, and prepare the path with courage that does not falter, because it is written, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And I take these words not as distant encouragement, but as a present reality, as a command to rise, as a call to stand. And if your heart is beating faster right now, it is not by accident. Something is awakening inside you. Do not ignore it. I refuse to allow fear to define my decisions. I refuse to let anxiety dictate my future, because there is a force greater than all of that working on my behalf, even when I cannot measure it, even when I cannot explain it. And it is written, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. And I am doing that now, releasing what I have been holding too tightly, surrendering what I cannot fix. And if you are still here, type or say out loud, I release what is not mine to carry, because your declaration matters more than you realize, St. George. Stand guard over my home, over my family, over every space where my presence reaches, and do not allow any hidden harm, any silent destruction, any unseen force to enter without resistance, because it is written, the Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. And I cling to that promise as protection, as covering, as assurance that I am not exposed, that I am not vulnerable in the way fear tries to convince me I am. And if you feel even a small sense of peace rising, do not dismiss it. Hold on to it. There are battles I have fought in silence, wounds I have carried without words, struggles I have hidden even from those closest to me. But nothing is hidden from the one who sees all. And it is written, before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. And that truth removes the pressure to explain everything, because I am already understood, already seen, already known. And if you are still listening, do not step away now, because this moment is not random. It is not coincidence. It is alignment. St. George, break through every barrier that has been placed in my path, every delay that has held me back, every obstacle that has made me question whether I will ever move forward, and let the truth of the word take shape in my reality, because it is written, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope, and I hold on to that future even before I see it, even before I understand it, because it is already in motion. If you are still here, do not make the mistake of disconnecting now, because leaving this moment could mean stepping away from the very shift you have been waiting for, and you do not want to. Return to the same cycle, the same struggles, the same unanswered questions. So stay present, stay engaged, and declare, I will stay until my breakthrough begins. Because your persistence is part of your transformation, and what you are feeling right now is not ordinary, St. George. Strengthen my mind against every intrusive thought, every lie that tries to present itself as truth, every voice that tries to rewrite my identity, and let the word stand firm within me, because it is written, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. And I choose that steadiness now. I choose that focus. I choose to align my thoughts with what is true, rather than what is fearful. I reject the narrative that tells me I am stuck. I reject the belief that nothing will change, because change is already unfolding, even in ways I cannot yet measure. And it is written, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? And I refuse to be blind to what is emerging. I refuse to overlook the beginnings of something greater. And if you sense even the smallest shift, acknowledge it, because it matters, St. George. Confront every hidden opposition that rises against me, every unseen resistance that tries to block my progress, and dismantle it with authority that does not hesitate, because it is written, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, and in that stillness, I find strength. In that stillness, I find confidence that I am not alone in this fight. Do not step away, not now, not when something is clearly building, not when your spirit is being stirred in a way that cannot be explained by coincidence. Because leaving now could mean missing what has been set in motion specifically for you, and you do not want to return to the same place you were before. So stay, remain, and say, I am here, and I will not move until something shifts. St. George, ignite courage within me that does not fade when challenges arise, that does not weaken under pressure, that does not retreat when things become uncertain, and let the word anchor me, because it is written, be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. And I take that strength not as an idea, but as a reality that is forming within me. Right now, I refuse to give space to fear. I refuse to entertain doubt, because I understand that what I focus on grows. And I choose to focus on what is being built, not what is being broken. And it is written, those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken but endures forever. And I claim that stability, I claim that endurance, I claim that unshakable foundation, St. George. Stand with me in every moment that follows this one, in every decision, in every step, in every unknown situation. And do not allow me to drift away from the alignment that is being formed right now, because this is not just a moment. This is a turning point. This is a shift. And if you are still here, do not disconnect. Do not scroll away. Do not let this fade, because something has already begun. Something is already moving. Something is already changing within you. I lift my voice in trembling urgency, calling upon St. George, warrior of courage and witness of unshaken faith. And I refuse to let my spirit drift away from this sacred moment, because if I abandon this prayer, I open doors I cannot see. I loosen the guard around my own life, and I invite confusion to take root, where clarity should reign. So stay here, remain attentive, hold every word as if it were the last rope keeping you from falling, and declare within yourself that you will not move, that you will not be distracted, that you will stand firm as it is written in the Bible. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And let that sentence burn inside you as a living fire. I press forward in this plea, refusing silence, refusing hesitation, because something shifts when a soul insists. And I declare that I will not step away from this moment of calling, for leaving now would mean surrendering ground that was never meant to be lost. And I urge you, do not make that mistake. Do not let your attention slip, because the unseen battle intensifies when devotion weakens, and it is written, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? So repeat, within yourself, I will stay until the end. I will not abandon this moment, and let that resolve root itself deeply in your spirit. I call upon the strength that was forged through trials, the endurance that refused to bow, and I ask that the courage carried by St. George awaken something inside me that cannot be silenced, something that refuses defeat, something that rises even when fear whispers loudly. And I warn you, if you step away now, you risk allowing fear to grow unchecked, spreading into every corner of your life. So remain here and declare out loud or in your heart, I choose courage over fear. I choose faith over doubt, because it is written, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And that truth must not be ignored. I stand in this moment aware that distraction is not harmless, that stepping away is not neutral, that abandoning this prayer opens a path for chaos to enter quietly. And I refuse that path, and you must refuse it as well, because your presence here matters more than you realize. And I urge you to stay locked in, to remain attentive, to let no thought pull you away, and say within yourself, I remain until breakthrough comes. For it is written, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And resistance begins by not leaving, by not quitting, by holding your ground. In this very moment I press deeper, calling upon divine alignment, refusing to let my will drift away from the greater purpose that stands above my understanding. And I declare, I align my heart with the will of God, accepting that His purpose is greater than my understanding. And I insist that you hold on to this truth as tightly as possible, because letting go now would mean stepping back into confusion, into uncertainty, into a place where answers seem distant. So stay here and affirm, I remain aligned, I remain focused, I remain steadfast, because it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. And that direction begins now. I refuse to allow doubt to whisper louder than truth, and I command my spirit to remain anchored. And I urge you, do not drift away. Do not allow your attention to scatter, because this moment carries weight. This moment carries consequence. And if you leave, you may not even notice what begins to unravel. So declare with conviction, I will stay. I will endure. I will not abandon this prayer. And remember the words, those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And let that promise hold you here. I call upon the unseen strength that sustains the weary, that lifts the burdened, that steadies the shaken. And I insist that you remain present, because stepping away now is not a small decision. It is a turning point. And you must choose to stay, to remain, to continue, and declare within yourself, I will not leave, I will not give in, I will remain until the end, because it is written, the righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles, and that cry must continue without interruption. I stand firm in this calling, refusing to let distraction steal what is being built. And I urge you again, do not make the mistake of walking away, because what you are receiving now cannot be replaced later. It cannot be recovered easily, and you must hold on to it and say within yourself, I will stay focused, I will remain engaged, I will not lose this moment, because it is written, draw near to God and He will draw near to you. And drawing near requires presence, requires attention, requires commitment. Right now I call upon the courage that faces what others avoid, the strength that persists when others quit. And I declare that I will not step away, and neither should you. Because leaving now allows uncertainty to creep in quietly, to settle in unnoticed, and I refuse that. And you must refuse it too. So declare, I stay until the end. I remain anchored. I refuse to be moved. Because it is written, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. And that promise stands when you remain firm. I press deeper still, refusing to loosen my grip on this moment. And I urge you, do not underestimate the importance of staying, because what is being formed here requires your full presence, your full attention, your full commitment. And I call you to declare, I will not step away, I will not disengage, I will remain until completion, because it is written, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And being still means staying, means not leaving, means holding your ground without distraction. I align my thoughts, my heart, and my intention with the will that surpasses understanding. And I declare again, I align my heart with the will of God, accepting that His purpose is greater than my understanding, and I insist that you repeat this within yourself, because stepping away now disconnects you from that alignment, and I refuse that disconnection, and you must refuse it too. So stay here, remain engaged, and remember, all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose, and that purpose unfolds when you remain present. Refuse to let weariness take over. I refuse to let distraction win, and I call upon you to do the same, because leaving now is not harmless. It is surrendering ground you cannot afford to lose. So declare with strength, I will stay, I will endure, I will remain, because it is written, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. And staying here is part of that steadfastness. I press forward with urgency, knowing that this moment carries more weight than it appears. And I urge you, do not step away. Do not allow your focus to break, because what is happening here matters deeply. And I call you to declare, I remain until the end. I will not abandon this moment, because it is written, cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. And that casting happens when you remain, when you stay, when you refuse to leave. I call upon resilience that does not fade, endurance that does not weaken, and I declare that I will not move from this place, and I urge you to do the same, because stepping away now allows confusion to take hold, and I refuse that outcome, and you must refuse it as well. So declare, I stay, I remain, I will not leave, because it is written, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And that nearness is experienced when you remain present. I hold firmly to this moment, refusing to let it slip away, and I urge you once more, do not make the mistake of leaving, because what is being built here requires your presence until the end. And I call you to declare, I will not quit, I will not step away, I will remain fully engaged, because it is written, He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion, and completion requires your willingness to stay. I continue pressing forward, refusing to allow distraction to take root, refusing to allow doubt to creep in, and I urge you to remain fully present, because stepping away now interrupts what is being formed. And I call you to declare, I stay until the end. I remain focused. I refuse to leave, because it is written, if God is for us, who can be against us? And that assurance must not be abandoned in this moment. I stand unwavering, refusing to release this moment, and I urge you with urgency, do not leave, do not disengage, do not allow your attention to drift, because what is happening here is not ordinary, and you must remain until the very last word, declaring within yourself, I will stay, I will endure, I will not abandon this prayer, because it is written, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous run to it and are safe, and running to it means staying within it. I press even deeper, refusing to loosen my hold, and I urge you with intensity, stay here, remain present, do not allow anything to pull you away, because leaving now risks allowing what you cannot see to take hold of what you value most. And I call you to declare boldly, I will not leave, I will remain until the end, I will not give up, because it is written, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist. And standing firm means staying right here, fully engaged, fully attentive, fully committed. In the name of the living God, I draw near with a trembling heart, calling upon the courage remembered in St. George, a witness of steadfast endurance, asking that my voice not fall empty into the night, but rise with urgency like incense carried on a restless wind. I surrender my daily struggles, asking for provision, forgiveness, and guidance just as taught in sacred prayer, remembering the words, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Let these words echo not as memory alone, but as living truth pressing into my circumstances right now. I refuse to drift away from this moment, because something is happening even now beyond what my eyes can see. And if I abandon this prayer too soon, I risk leaving the door open for confusion, fear, and loss to take root where peace was meant to dwell. Stay anchored here. Do not step away, because the one who listens is shaping unseen outcomes. Declare within yourself, even if silently, I remain until transformation begins. I will not abandon this moment. I stand firm until light breaks through the darkness, pressing against my life. O God, who sees the hidden corners of my soul, I bring before you the weight I have carried in silence, the burdens I have disguised with forced strength, and I lay them down without defense. You said through your word, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Restore what has been worn thin within me. Guide me where confusion has ruled, and let no lack dominate the path ahead. Through the memory of St. George's fearless stand, awaken within me a resilience that does not retreat under pressure, a resolve that does not collapse under doubt, and a clarity that cuts through every lie spoken against my destiny. I surrender my daily struggles, asking for provision, forgiveness, and guidance, just as taught in sacred prayer, trusting that what I release now is not lost, but transformed. If you are still here, do not hesitate. Whisper to yourself, I will not give up now, because something powerful is being aligned for me. Do not underestimate what it means to remain present in this prayer, because many walk away just before the breakthrough, and you are not among them. If you leave now, you risk allowing fear to rewrite your story. But if you stay, you stand in the place where restoration begins. Say it boldly in your heart. I stay, I endure, I receive what is being prepared for me, and no force will remove me from this moment of turning. You declared in sacred scripture, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. I cast it now, every anxious thought, every restless night, every silent fear that has whispered defeat into my mind. Let them fall away from me, not to return, but to dissolve under your authority. Let peace, not as the world gives, but as you give, settle deeply within me, anchoring me where chaos once ruled. I surrender my daily struggles, asking for provision, forgiveness, and guidance, just as taught in sacred prayer, knowing that provision is not only material, but spiritual, emotional, and deeply personal. Open doors that have remained shut, redirect paths that lead to harm, and illuminate steps that I could not previously discern. If you feel something shifting inside you, do not ignore it. Engage with it. Say within yourself, I am being led. I am not lost. I am guided even when I do not understand. Do not scroll away. Do not turn your attention elsewhere, because distraction is often the very tool that steals what was meant for you in moments like this. Stay, focus, breathe into this prayer, and allow it to take root deeply. Speak inwardly. I will not abandon what is working for my good. I will not trade this moment for temporary noise. I remain until my spirit is strengthened. Your word says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. I release the need to control outcomes, to predict every turn, to force answers where patience is required. Straighten what has been crooked, clarify what has been uncertain, and remove the obstacles that stand where purpose should unfold. With the strength remembered through St. George, I ask for boldness not rooted in pride, but in trust, a courage that stands not for appearance, but for truth. Let me not retreat when pressure rises. Let me not surrender when resistance appears. And let me not silence my faith when it is most needed. If you feel hesitation rising, confront it now. Declare quietly, I refuse to step back. I refuse to weaken. I stand firm in what is being built within me. I surrender my daily struggles, asking for provision, forgiveness, and guidance just as taught in sacred prayer. And I ask that forgiveness not remain abstract, but become active within me. Where I have held resentment, release it. Where I have been bound by past wounds, loosen those chains. Let forgiveness become freedom, not obligation, and let it open doors that bitterness has kept locked. Remain here. Do not break this connection, because what is unfolding requires your presence, your attention, your willingness to stay engaged. If you walk away, you interrupt what is forming, but if you remain, you participate in something greater than what you can measure. Say it clearly in your thoughts. I remain connected. I remain attentive. I remain open to what is being shaped for my life. You have spoken. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Let this not be distant encouragement, but immediate assurance. Wherever uncertainty waits, you are already there. Wherever fear tries to settle, your presence disrupts it. Let courage rise not as effort, but as response to your nearness. I surrender my daily struggles, asking for provision, forgiveness, and guidance just as taught in sacred prayer. And I ask for guidance that is unmistakable, direction that is undeniable, and wisdom that cannot be confused with impulse. Align my decisions with purpose, my actions with truth, and my path with what leads to life, not destruction. Do not disengage now, because the moment you are in carries weight beyond what you can see. Many abandon these moments and later wonder why things remain unchanged. But you are choosing differently right now. Affirm it within. I will not leave prematurely. I will not disconnect from what is strengthening me. I will stay until I feel the shift within my spirit. You have said, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" Let fear lose its voice, let intimidation lose its grip, and let confidence rooted in you rise steadily within me. Where darkness attempted to linger, let light take authority. I surrender my daily struggles, asking for provision, forgiveness, and guidance just as taught in sacred prayer. And I trust that even now, what I cannot see is being arranged, what I cannot hear is being spoken on my behalf, and what I cannot control is being handled beyond my reach. If you are still here, hold on to this. I am not alone in this moment. I am being sustained. I am being carried through what I could not face alone. Let this connection deepen. Let this awareness sharpen. Let this persistence grow stronger with every passing second. Because what is unfolding is not random. And your presence here is not accidental. It is part of something unfolding with purpose and intention beyond what you expected when you first began to listen and engage with these words that continue to press forward without fading or concluding. In this moment of trembling breath and restless thoughts, I lift my voice towards Saint George, asking you to stand beside me as the shadows press in and uncertainty whispers fear into my heart. Do not look away from these words, because something within this very moment can shift the course of your life if you remain, if you hold on, if you refuse to abandon this prayer while it is still unfolding before you. I come not with empty phrases, but with a soul aware of its battles, aware that unseen forces try to weaken faith and distort purpose. Yet it is written that even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Let that truth echo now. Let it root deeply. Let it become breath within breath. Hear this cry rising from a place that refuses defeat, a cry that refuses to surrender to despair, a cry that insists on divine intervention right now, because the hour is urgent and the need is real. Stay here. Do not scroll away. Do not let distraction steal what is being built in your spirit, because leaving now may cost you the breakthrough you have been seeking without even realizing it. It is declared that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? And I cling to these words as if they were the very ground beneath my feet. Warrior of unwavering courage, I call upon your intercession as battles rage within and around me. Battles of the mind, battles of the heart, battles that no one else can see. Stand guard at the gates of my life. Stand firm where I feel weak, and pierce through every lie that tells me I am alone. Do not underestimate what is happening right now, because every second you remain engaged in this prayer strengthens something unseen yet powerful, something that can alter outcomes and silence voices of destruction. I confess the weight I carry, the burdens that press against my chest, the silent struggles that have no witnesses, and I ask for a strength that does not break under pressure. It is written that those who wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Let that renewal begin now, not later, not someday, but in this very breath you are taking as you read and absorb these words. Listen closely, because this is not a casual moment. This is a turning point disguised as a simple prayer. If you leave now, you may be walking away from the very answer you have been crying out for in silence. And that is not a risk worth taking, not when your future is at stake. Say within yourself, I will not leave. I will remain until something shifts, until something breaks, until something new is born inside me. Saint who faced danger without retreat, teach me to confront what I have been avoiding, to stand where I have been hiding, to speak where I have been silent, and to believe where doubt has taken root. For it is written that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Let that power rise, let that clarity settle, let that love reshape everything within me that has been distorted by fear. Right now, as these words continue, there is something happening beyond what eyes can see. Something aligning, something correcting, something preparing a path that was once blocked. Do not disconnect, because interruption could weaken what is being built in this moment. If you feel something stirring, do not ignore it. Respond to it, lean into it, allow it to grow. Stronger with every line you read, I ask for protection over every doorway of my life, every place where vulnerability has allowed harm to enter, every space where fear has whispered lies. It is written that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. Let those words become a shield, a barrier that nothing destructive can cross. Say it now within your heart. I will stay. I will not abandon this prayer. I will see this through. Because something in me knows that leaving would open doors that should remain closed, would allow chaos where peace is being planted. Write it in your mind, as if engraving it into your very being. I will remain until transformation begins. Warrior of steadfast faith, cut through confusion, dismantle deception, expose what hides in darkness pretending to be harmless. Bring clarity where there has been fog, direction where there has been wandering, and courage where hesitation has taken control. For it is written that the truth shall set you free, and I hold on to that promise as if it were the key to every locked door in my life. Feel the intensity of this moment. Feel the weight of these words. Feel the urgency that refuses to be ignored. This is not entertainment. This is not routine. This is a call to awaken something deeper, something stronger, something that cannot be easily shaken. Do not treat this lightly, because what you engage with shapes what you become. I release what binds me. I let go of what poisons my spirit. I surrender the need to control outcomes that are beyond my reach, trusting that mercy flows where forgiveness is chosen. It is written that be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as God forgave you. Let forgiveness become a doorway, not a weakness, but a passage into freedom that cannot be taken away. Stay anchored here. Do not drift. Do not allow your focus to scatter, because what is being spoken now is building something that requires your full attention. Distraction is not harmless. It is a thief that steals moments of transformation. Hold your ground. Remain present. Refuse to let this moment slip away. St. George, stand beside every hidden struggle, every silent tear, every unspoken fear, and confront the forces that seek to overwhelm and consume. Let your courage become contagious, spreading into every corner of my being. For it is written that the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, and I choose now to trust in that promise with everything within me. As this prayer comes to a close, carry with you the certainty that you are not alone in your battles. You are protected, guided, and strengthened by a force far greater than anything that stands against you. St. George walks beside those who believe, and God's presence surrounds those who trust. Let this not be just a moment, but a turning point. Walk forward with courage in your steps, faith in your heart, and peace in your spirit. The shield has been raised, the path is being cleared, and your victory is already in motion. Amen.